So now I'm a proud American. I love America. You know what I love about America? America doesn't follow the rules. Every other country uses the metric system, right? The only people that use the metric system in this country are people who are on drugs. That's it. If you know what a gram or a kilo is, there's a reason.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This is the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again with your host Nick Scopes and the Gregolicious. You know how we do, cause you know we keeping it gangster and silly. Unplugged like a full swung titty. Bout get jitty, cause you know we down to the nitty and the gritty. And we make shit sound so damn pretty. Yeah, cause this unhinged comedy. And right now you're in the mix, so get ready, cause we bout to get it poppin'. And we ain't stopping.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This the Mangina Dialogues. We at it again. Yeah, we at it again. Yeah, yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Mangina Dialogues. I am your host, Nick Scopes.
And I am the Gregolicious.
You hear that, Rich? His name's the Gregolicious.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Gregolicious.
Ladies and gentlemen, our host today is Rich Aronovitch. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you mean guest.
Guest.
Your guest.
Yeah,
Our
you
guest
did,
today.
you
Or
did.
host, whatever.
Yes.
It's fine. Your name's the
I'm hosting
Gregolicious.
the guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Richalicious, Aronovitchalicious. What is that?
Yeah, how did that...
do you want to be, how did that happen? What went wrong?
I smoked pot only one time in my life, but every day for 6 years.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, a really funny guy said that.
I know, I heard.
Yeah, he's cute.
His name is Richalicious.
I think the actual line is I smoked pot once every day.
Yeah, I know. I fucked
But that's
up.
okay. Yeah.
His name's the Gregolicious. What do you expect?
A little bit more healthy. Yeah, Gregolicious. Oh God, it's great. So yeah,
It's like a great
Gregolicious.
lollipop.
Keeping it real. Are you? I just went to Jew camp because it's the law, and I just ran into somebody. All Jews have to go to camp.
Yeah, in Maine or Western Mass? Maine or Western Mass?
Well, it's better than like Warsaw, and anyway. So that's a Holocaust joke. Minute one,
hey.
Great. So I ran into someone I went to camp with, and he moved to New York to be a rapper, and now he has his own little podcast about why you can't be a rapper. So,
what's his name?
I just said tied it down. Josh, and what was his last name? Josh. I have to remember.
Does it end in a Steen or
Stein? On the spot. It's something Jewy, of course. Josh.
Yeah. Stein, Goldberg, Berg. What are we looking at? What's
Lefkowitz.
Lefkowitz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one of those in the phone book.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's he doing with his rap career?
Oh, he's in real estate now, so that gives you an idea. That's all that.
That's way more suitable.
Yeah, but the
for a
Beastie
Jewish
Boys
man.
were like yeshiva boys.
Yeah, for sure.
The Beastie Boys were actually, were yeshiva boys.
Where are you from originally, Rich?
So I was born in Canada. I lived there for only 10 months, so I'm not part of really the chosen frozen. I grew up in New Orleans. Yes, thank you. I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, which makes me a diehard Saints fan.
Oof.
And I've lived in New York, Atlanta, LA, and back to New York.
How many of our people are down in Louisiana?
By our people, you mean Jews?
Yes.
Greg's half.
Oh, before Katrina, it was very different. So, what other major tragedies can we bring up? We got Holocaust,
Katrina.
Hurricane Katrina.
What else? We talk about
global warming.
Right.
So,
Do we talk about the Armenian genocide? Do we get there?
They didn't have good PR. Nobody talks about the Armenian. Jews bring up the Holocaust at every chance they get it. Like, like a hot girl happens to mention she has a boyfriend with non sequiturs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's oh, how are you doing today? She goes, who's doing really well? My boyfriend. Like, what? Oh, I didn't. Oh, you just wouldn't tell me you had a boyfriend? That's what the Jews are like. Like, are you guys having a good time? Yeah. Wasn't having a good time? My grandparents during the Holocaust. Like, we like to bring it up all the time. But the Armenians, they just congregated in Glendale in Los Angeles, and they all have millions of dollars, and none of them ever work. I don't understand. They run around going, "You have change for 100, bro. You have change." I'm like, dude, we're at the 99-cent store. Relax. That sounded like a bit. I'm going to say that sounded like a bit.
It was good. I enjoy it. We got it on record.
Sounded like
too.
a bit.
So you've been to Glendale?
Yeah, I used to live in L.A. I used to live in L.A. for 5 years, and everything went away at the same time. And I went, I'm going to move back to New York. And I was touring with Jim Breuer at the time, and I kept flying way too far to go do gigs with him. So I was like, you know what? This is where the job is taking me. I lost my girlfriend at the time, my voiceover agent, my commercial agent, and my legit agent, all within a few week period. I was like, oh, that's a sign. Okay, I got it.
Why'd you lose them all?
So then I moved back to New York.
What led to losing them?
For various reasons. The voiceover agent said I just wasn't booking. She kept listening into my auditions. She's like, "You're great. I don't know why you're not booking, but you're just not. So I can't waste auditions if they don't respond to you, and I don't understand it. I've been in the business forever. You're great. I don't get it." Commercial agent, I had screwed up. I forgot to I had a last minute gig and forgot to book out, and then I got called for a callback, and they lost their mind. I was like, I could lie to them, and have my kill a pet or a grandparent that's already dead, but I was just honest, which was not a good thing in LA. I just screwed up. And let's see, the legit agent, same deal. I was on hold for a couple things, but they can't, 5 months. It's very hard. It's like once you pop the cherry, then everything just flows. But it was just I couldn't get that first booking. I was on hold for some stuff for Disney and some other stuff, but it just didn't work out. And then the girlfriend said, "I'm just not attracted to you." Which is we don't need to know all the. Couldn't you been "Hey, it's not you, it's me. Something a little less, painful." But it was the best thing that happened because I ended up moving to New York, and it was great. And she whatever. Her life is my revenge. So.
I think you're a beautiful man.
I have a great life.
I'm looking at your J-Date
Thank
profile
you.
right now, and I think you're
hilarious.
You're a beautiful man.
I tried going on diggingforgold.com in LA, and I went out with a girl who literally said, and I will quote, "I don't think you make enough money for me." She literally said this to me. And I said, "I have more earning potential than anyone you'll ever date," which is the greatest answer and means absolutely nothing. Earning potential? What the hell is that?
It sounds like something from Goodfellas, he's got earning potential.
Yeah. Hey, he's got earning potential, Henry. It means nothing. Earning potential. So it doesn't matter. That's how people, I'm like, that's really, what a soulless, sad sack of tragedy you are. To actually verbalize the obvious truth to what we're both thinking.
Would you like to call her out specifically on right now?
Social media handles, whatever.
What do you got?
No, I don't. No, I don't. If I even remembered, it was so remote. But that's why that all the LA comics, not all, but it's a very low hanging fruit to be dating in LA. Am I right? That's one of those concepts. It sucks dating on there. I used to you try to date actresses, you got to make resume condoms. So if you have a good resume, the farther it goes, the quicker it'll get rolled out. That kind of thing. But
right.
It's a very weird place, Los Angeles. I mean, there are great people there, but I like New Yorkers a lot better.
How long did you live in LA?
I did 5 years, a stint.
Oof, parole.
2 years probation, 5 years parole. No, 5 years I did.
Where'd you live in Hollywood? Where'd you what?
No, I lived on the corner of no eye contact and what are my motives? Yeah,
I've been there.
Oh, your grandma? Yeah.
Greg goes to LA. Go ahead.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Greg goes to LA quite a bit, so he gets it. I've never been, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, your grandmother died? Was she SAG? Anyways, yeah, it's a sad, there's a lot, it's just desperate to me. I'd moved there happily, if I had work, but to be out there, it's just the people in New York help each other. This is my experience. It may not be true, but just my experience. When I was living in LA, it was like, it's like, you know how you walk into a room and people look at you as if, like in the cartoons when a chicken walks in and the wolf sees him as a meal.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel people look at each other. I'm like, there's no just like, I just want to help to help. It's always like, what can you do for me? Me, my mind, me, my mind, me, my mind, me. That's kind of the motive.
So
I like to help people because it feels good,
Yeah, for sure.
What I'm doing right now. I'm doing this podcast that 5 people are going to hear.
You made us pay you $5,000 though, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Just Venmo'd you dick.
How long have you had? I know. This is how nice I am. I have no idea who you guys are. I just got a message on Instagram like, yeah, sure, I'll do whatever. What am I doing? I have no idea what this is. This could not even be real. This could be just 2 lonely guys in a basement who are so
You're
sad.
not that far off.
They're desperate. They definitely just need a friend.
I mean, all of those things are true.
And we picked you.
Every one of those things is true. We are definitely
Which
2
means
desperate
you guys
guys.
have really low standards. That's good.
You got to start somewhere.
All the hot girls on Instagram, we said, you know what? I like this Jewish guy who's a comedian. Who's mildly attractive.
Today I got in. I like Instagram. I'm sort of like, I just thought of like a funny, I should do like an Insta rap thing. That's what I'm going to do. That's my next venture.
Dude, do it
I'm
right now.
I'm going to write a song. I am. Okay. I have to write it and do it. Maybe I'll get my friend Josh to sing it. But that was just, I just got inspired.
He'll sing it and then he'll sell your condo or apartment or whatever for you.
Yeah.
Only take 2%.
Follow me. I'll follow you back. Getting those likes. It's just like crack. That kind of stuff. Like something like that.
That's our new theme song.
There it is.
Yeah. It can't be worse than what I just heard a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I always ask people, what do you think about that song?
So next question.
All right. Well, we're playing Hava Nagila.
No,
next.
I didn't. No,
Just
it's
kidding.
fun. It was fun, actually. No, it was fun. How did you do it? Did you do it in GarageBand?
Ask Greg. Greg, tell him how we got that theme song.
So truthfully, it's more of a visual than it is an audio.
Yeah, true.
It's actually,
Which makes a lot of sense for a podcast.
yeah, it totally does. See, that's how we're kind of doing it backwards. It's actually 2 puppets that are actually rapping that song.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
We're going to send you the video.
That's
awesome.
It's puppets.
Please send me the video. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
On one of my Instagram things, I came up with the idea of a children's show, but the puppets like filthy. It's let's see, when is it from? It's one of my Instagram posts. It's yeah. Let's see. It's from July 14th. The Good Egg Show. That's what it is. I think it's hilarious. I think I should do another one of those too. So, what do you do on besides podcasts in the basement with just each other?
No, my mom's here.
Oh, I interview you. You don't interview me. I interview you.
For real. Well, long story short, I was Greg's personal trainer at Equinox, and he found out I did stand-up comedy on the side, and he said, bullshit. And then he came and saw me. He said, you're not bad, and I hate that you're not bad. And then he said, I'll help you do stuff. And I said, okay, and here we go.
You're not bad is not good. When someone says a qualifier, like if they say, you're pretty funny, I'm like, why did you bother even pretending to have a compliment?
It wasn't enough.
You're pretty funny is almost a compliment.
Almost.
How about that for a qualifier? We don't need that preposition. You're funny or you're not. Either say you're funny. Don't say you're pretty funny. Like as if you were like a 6. I don't want to hear I'm a 6.
You're in 10 in my book. What got you into comedy, Rich? What started? How was it? Low self-esteem? What was it?
I was my uncle was changing me, and he grazed my balls, so I thought I was molested. So I was grazed. I wasn't, but I thought so. No, actually, what happened was it's actually a cool story. So, I grew up in New Orleans, and there was this place called Movie Pictures where you could watch a movie and drink beer and smoke cigarettes. This is a while ago, and I was bored with the movie I was watching, and so I went outside. And I was being, very funny because I didn't have an outlet. And, the always on guy, how annoying those people are. Well, that's if you don't have a stage, then you're the always on guy, right? So I was, being funny, and this guy said, "Hey, you're hilarious. We have a comedy contest at our show. It was an improv show. And if you win this contest, you come back and you open our show and do 5 minutes of stand-up." And I was like, I'll do that. So I told a street joke, and I won the contest. And then I started doing stand-up. And the two fun facts about this story is I didn't think that Rich Aronovitch was going to fly. So I went by the name, drum roll please, Smooth Daddy Johnson. Yeah, that's right. I was 19 years old. I thought, yep, Smooth Daddy Johnson. I can't really, yeah.
We have exactly. A soundboard, so
and the
get
guy,
ready.
Yep, and the guy who said, "Hey, you're pretty funny, you should come do this," his name was Dr. Ken Jeong.
Dr. Ken, like that guy.
Yeah,
Ken Jeong.
Like that famous guy who's on The Mask, who was the Asian guy in The Hangover, who had his own show, Dr. Ken. Yeah,
shit.
That guy.
That's cool.
Exactly. And you think he's doing your podcast? No, he's on a bigger things, okay?
Who do you think we're talking to at 4 p.m.? Matter of fact, he just texted me, "Gotta go, Rich."
Yeah. I think he's talking to you going, "Yeah, have my people." It's funny because I have because I started with a lot of these guys who are famous, so I have a lot of famous people's numbers. And I was doing this show with LA. It was like a live streaming show. There was like a platform called Ustream. And so we were doing this live show, and I called certain people were awesome, and I did it. We got John Lovitz on it and Bobcat Gold. But then some people were they were just so annoyed that I called them.
Did you call them unexpectedly,
so I thought,
or
you just? No, I know these guys. If I see them, we talk. It's I know you way before for years, but actually, it was only one guy, and I'm not gonna say his name, TJ Miller. But the point is, he was weird about it. He was like, "Call my assistant,"
You're but I'm talking to you. But
it's all that Silicon Valley money.
Yeah, which means that he was just he didn't want to do it, which I really understand, because if you're at a certain level, it's there's only so much time and press you can do in a day. And so if you don't think that this has a major viewership, it's a waste of your time. You know what I mean? When I was hosting the Playboy morning show, I almost got the full-time job, but they had me they tested me for a week. And one of the guests was so pissed. He was a super famous guy who was on that show about a boy or whatever. And I could see the minute this place this was I am firing people. He was so bad. Yeah. But anyways.
What was that first joke you told? You said a street joke?
It's a visual, so you can put that with your Muppets.
It's a visual.
Yeah, but I remember the joke. Yeah, it's a visual.
Okay.
You have to be able to see it. Yeah, fair enough.
Tell us more about this Playboy morning show. That piqued my interest.
Oh yeah, no, it was. It was actually one of those weird things. So they tested literally thousands of comedians, thousands, and they got boiled down to 3 of us.
That's cool.
Ryan,
you were one of them. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was one of the 3. Ryan. I can't remember. Well, it's funny because the guy, I used to tour with the guy, and I will not say his name, but this dude was crazy pants. He was not a fun tour. He was micromanaging and censoring, and you treated you like a worker, and it was not fun. You felt no comedian wants to feel like a lapdog, Go, hey, open my water bottle 3/4 and make sure the stool is 4 inches to the left and 6 inches. It's dude, work out your issues with a therapist, please. So anyways, we had not a falling out per se, but it was just it's just I don't, when somebody's really awful to you, you don't want to hang out with them after, and they don't know why. They're not aware of how awful they are. Awful
Right.
people don't know they're awful. In his mind, he taught me a lot about you taught me how not to treat people, bro. So I'm on the plane. I had worked. I had a gig in the Wilbur Theater in Boston, And so I'm flying from Boston to LA and testing the next morning. My plan was to sleep on the plane. This jerk off gets on the plane with me and is like hovering over and talking, and people are like, dude, could you go sit down? Like, everybody hates you. So yeah, it was, and so I was very off the first show, but then the rest I did well. But I don't think I was really right for the show. It's a weird, it's just a weird thing. Like, because it all has to be kind of blue, right? It's got, that's the market. And I don't mind blue materials. But it's not, I just find it's not that hard. So it becomes like, to me, it's like, if you're going to do it, you got to do it great, or why bother,
Right. No, I feel you. That's cool. So you almost made it on. That was really cool. What was that supposed to be? Like, it's just a morning show? Like, what channel was it on?
It's called The Morning Show on Playboy TV.
Okay.
And so it's like a radio / live show. So we'd have people from, I've interviewed a guy, Vanderpump Rules. Two of them were on there.
That must have been fun.
Talk about, that's a whole nother conversation. The Kardashian world where people are famous just because they're famous, and there's like no weird talent behind it. It drives me crazy.
I've been trying to get my sex tape out for years.
Yeah. It's you in a basement on a podcast.
Really, and alone. I mean, who needs it?
It's one of those film reels. It's from the 40s.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, your cameraman is talking. So anyways, so yeah, like I was with this like winner of Big Brother. I'm like, yeah, but you're not, you just, I'm like, you don't really have talent. I'm like, I told her to her face, which was, I was like, you won a reality show. I don't, what am I supposed to respect you now because you figured out how to, she's like, there's talent in learning how to play. Like, yeah, you know how to manipulate. That's great. Like, good for you. But this is not like, you can't sing, dance, act, tell jokes. I don't know what your version, I mean, yes, there is talent in manipulation. I'm glad you can hang your hat on that. But like, that's why it drives me crazy that Kim Kardashian has, like, what is she, I'm like, what does she do? I love her. Why?
She had sex with Ray J.
What? Yeah, that's it. That's what, and her mom was behind leaking it. Like, what kind of, you understand her father helped OJ get off? Like, are you crazy?
Yeah, a lot of people get off.
So much. Yeah.
OJ was going to get off regardless, unfortunately, at that time. That's just the way it was.
Well, yeah, it was a perfect storm in his direction.
Literally perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally a perfect storm.
I mean, DNA evidence, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like, your blood is everywhere? Never mind, you didn't do it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, on your socks, of course.
It said all three of the victims' houses? Weird or something. Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, what a crazy coincidence. Oh, wait. But I watched a great documentary about it. It was like a 5-part series on 30 for 30 about it.
Ooh.
Wow, what a monster. I mean, the karma got him when he acted crazy. What I don't understand is people who side with obvious criminals. Like, if you can't tell me, how does Bill Cosby still have 1.3 million Twitter followers? What kind of people, you know what I mean? Like, he's a rapist.
Yeah.
I guess you can separate the art from the man. I can understand that.
Not if they're still alive.
Great, I don't care.
Not if they're still alive. I can't.
I mean,
there's a guy. He lives in. I forgot his name and his exact job, but he lives in a big giant White House in Washington D.C. that's got like 60 million followers. And I don't know.
Really, he's a really big victim. A lot of people don't really give him the credit he deserves. He's a really great guy.
Huge hands.
And a lot of your listeners, a lot of your listeners are going to be very turned off by such a statement. It's a really big hoax.
Yeah, Greg went real political there.
I just couldn't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny. I mean, I don't give a fuck. People are too sensitive. People are too sensitive, anyways. One of the questions.
What annoys me. Hold on. Let me pin this because
let's do it.
I do jokes, right? So I have a joke. That first joke that I've kind of punched up, the one on that Gotham Comedy Live thing on YouTube you found. My first joke. So I have a joke. I became a citizen about 3 years ago, just in time. And then I go into, so I hit both sides, right? So then I go, yeah, the woman who was interviewing me, I couldn't understand her. She was reading the questions, but she's such a thick actress. I'm like, no, I want to become a citizen. So now I punch the other side. So what's great about that joke is everybody's laughing and they're also pissed off.
Perfect.
Because the left gets mad and the right gets mad. And I will tell you, I will say the right is just as sensitive as the left. They're just as censoring and awful, and because they're like, I did, I can do that impression. I can't do it in certain audiences, in certain markets, because people will lose their mind. And the same problem with the left. I can't talk about, so many things they've been conditioned to be. I'm going to write a letter, and I'm triggered, and that's a trigger warning, and I'm woke, and I'm snooze, and I'm triggered. Everybody needs to relax.
For real.
Comedy is not a TED Talk. It's not a TED Talk. Just remember that. It's a big thing for me because I'm like, because now that people have access to you,
Right.
you'll do a show. You can't just go home. You gotta open up. Oh, good. Someone found me on my website, richisfunny.com. And I'm like, oh, great, richisfunny.com. So I go and I open up. I'm like, someone is going to tell me how great. You did a joke about Guatemala, and I walk a dog whose name is Guatemala, so I personally joke is very hurtful to me. You're a joyless yelper.
I resemble that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg definitely does.
I'm going to give him 1 star.
One of the questions I have for you, Rich, so my first, I'll be honest, my first memories ever of stand-up and watching stand-up, me and my friends, I think in 7th and 8th grade, used to quote that Jim Breuer, I think it was his comedy special. So to know that you went on tour with him, that's amazing. I would like to know a little bit about that and how that came to be.
So, that's a fun story. So, my friend, one of my best friends in life and in comedy, I don't know if you know Jessica Kirsten.
Oh, yeah.
She has
funny as hell.
Yeah. So
I love her.
Very funny. She's got a Comedy Central special coming out in December, produced by Bill Burr. So
awesome.
She and I have always been, just besties. And she was doing a movie in California. And so I was like, hey, let's hang out. So I went to the set, not realizing behind my back, she talked me up to Jim. This is what friends do. But didn't tell me, hey, he's sniffing to see if you could work with you, but doesn't. So I'm a little bit, what's the word? Starstruck a little bit at first because it's Jim Breuer and I have mad respect and love for him. And I'm just hoping, I'm like, please don't be a jerk. Please don't be a jerk. Please don't be a jerk. And he was great. He was fun. And so at first I was a little quiet. And then we started riffing and doing these characters while in between takes and just like two school kids. So then he's like, hey, if I ever come out west, do you want to open for me? And I was still touring with, Crazy Pants. So I was like, yes, I would love to, please. So we do a gig in San Diego. Now, his assistant at the time told me, oh, Jim's going to drive from San Diego to San Jose the next day. So I'm like, oh, okay. And you could definitely get a ride with him. I'm like, sounds great. Don't realize, no, he's taking a flight and asked me. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I don't say anything. I'm just like, well, I have a car. I'll just drive to San Diego and then I'll drive to San Jose. Now, San Diego to LA is about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, I would say. I'm depending on traffic, and
on a good day
to LA to San Jose is about 6 hours. So he says, do you want to be, he had a radio show on Sirius at the time called Fridays with Jim Breuer. So he's like, do you want to be on my radio show tomorrow? I was like, of course I would, not realizing, so we're going to finish the gig at 10, maybe, 10:30. I'm home by, let's say, 1 a.m. For me to get there by noon, I've got to leave, so I've got to get 3-4 hours of sleep, chug Red Bull, and I go, you know what? The only thing that I have control over in the business is my work ethic. That's it. That's the only thing I control. I can't control what people think of me. I can only say I just work hard, keep putting out stuff, work hard for it. So I I do that. I get in my car, I go up there, and it's like I get there 11:45, park the car, still have travel sweat, and it's magic. So he had called this guy Paul Mercurio, who was on O&A, and he likes to do bits, and Jim doesn't like when you're doing a lot of bits. He likes if you're free. So my job was to do this little Latino character and kind of knock him off his game. That was my whole goal. And it was just magic. And during that thing, Paul Mercury was like, you should, this guy's hilarious. This should be your opener. You should work with this guy. He goes, I think I just found my opener. And then it started like a 5-6 year relationship of opening for him. That's pretty much how that worked. I actually recorded it, and I think that's also on my YouTube. Rich is funny. Is on there too.
How long? So you worked with him for 5 years, like regularly? Or?
Let's see. I was the guy. So it was like my gig, and it was like if I couldn't do it, he's like, if you can make more money, go make more money, which is awesome. But you have first right refusal of all my gigs. So there you go. Here's awesome. My calendar. Go. Yeah. So I would tour with him, and it started to happen. Like what happens is, as a comic, like people. You started to all these interviews became about him. So tell me about Jim. Like, I don't want to talk. I mean, yes. It's like he's a bigger fish. I get it, but then you become known as his fluffer. And then he also he went on tour with Metallica, and I was like, well, I'm just going to be like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not going to be doing stand up. I'm going to be like, what would I be doing? And it didn't interest me because I still have aspirations to get out of your parents' basement. You know what I mean? Like, so I thought that was going to get a laugh. Anyways,
we're still in a basement. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I have aspirations to get out. Anyways, so so it's like I want to be my own kind of product. He's great, and he's doing great. And we just talked 2 days ago, and we're still very close. But at some point, it's like you can't be the opener forever, because then it's a very comfortable position. It is, because you think about it, like, as a comic, you're working on booking 52 weeks for the year. That's the max, right? So when you are touring with someone, and all of a sudden they're like, here's 30 weeks, wonk. You're like, yeah, my year's done. Great. No problem. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of fun. And also the expectations for the opener are so low, because usually they suck. The problem is I am too funny to be an opener, because the guy behind you does not want to have to hear about your opener. We did like a show, and he's like, dude, people in Morristown, which is his town, like near his town, he goes, they're still talking about you, which is a compliment, but it's also not good for the opener. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That was the big problem I had with Crazy Guy, is because he kept doing things to try to make me less funny, because he didn't want me to follow funny. He wanted to follow a guy that got you near comedy. And then once you're near comedy, boom, now he looks like a genius. But he doesn't want people to go, oh my God, that's hilarious. And that's hilarious too. Now, from my point of view, I'm never going to throw a game. I'm going to do the best job I can. That is why I got into this. And that's it. So, and I think, like, if you love the appetizer, you love the main course. There's no problem. The whole meal's good. And Jim had that attitude. He's like, people are here to see me. Just have different jokes by next year.
So what are you doing? Like, I mean, obviously, I looked at your dates. You're primarily just working in New York now for the most part. I mean, I saw some other dates out, of course, but is that your main?
No. What I did is I worked cruises for a while because the money's great. Yeah, I put away money, and now I'm doing a lot less cruises. So I have just, I have one more on one line and one more the other, and I'm just going to be working for Celebrity because they treat me the best. And the rest, until they change a lot of policies that I find absolutely unacceptable, then I don't need them, and I'll be working on land more, and that's my plan. And I don't mind making less money, but I just want to be happy. Like, I don't want to be, you know what I mean? There's certain things like, wait a minute, I got to pay full price for internet, and I got to pay $14.50 a day for my room. Like, what do you expect me to do? I have to be.
Damn, on the
wait,
cruise?
You want me to do? Yeah, people are like, what? I'm like, yeah. That's they gross $1 million in internet a cruise, but they need my $14.50. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
So, but do you still get to stand outside on the pier and greet people and dance? Because that gets me. That's my
Yeah.
selling. Like I'm buying a ticket on that cruise for that reason. I can watch that all day, and I have. That's almost how I've not gotten out of my parents' basement. Is I'm just watching you dance on the pier at a cruise 24 hours a day.
Well, that's the cruise line that keeps me happy. That's
Me too.
joy. See, what the corporation doesn't understand is you treat the act good, the act gives you a better show. That's how this works, right? So I'm all happy. I'm dancing around. I'm having a good time. I'm with my friends who are really talented. And I see them. Hey, it's a camp, you know. Oh, here, record this. I'm going to be funny, you know. And then I was like debating, like, is this going to get me in trouble? I was like, nah, it's not going to get me in trouble. Like, I asked a friend of mine. He's like, no, you're just being fun. You're not being disparaging to the brand or to anybody there. Like, you're not. You know what I mean? So you have to be careful about, you know. But yeah, it's great. And and those shows I do better because I feel better. You know, I don't know if you experience this, but like when people treat you better, you perform better. It's just like
100%.
when the audience is better, you feel better. You know, that kind of a thing.
Without a doubt.
So let me ask you a question. Before we started recording, we were talking about your name, and you mentioned something about potentially changing your name. Like, are you really seriously doing that? And then how much of an effect do you think that would have on your past?
I don't know, because like here's the deal, right? So obviously I changed my name once before. I was Smooth Daddy Johnson for like a year and a half. And then I went to Rich
go back
Aronovitch.
to that.
But you were in the basement at that point,
know.
right? You were living in the basement at that point.
Yeah, I was like a hobbyist.
Right.
But I think the problem is that my name is very hard to Google, very hard to search. My middle name is Neil. If I just go to Rich Neil, it's like so much easier. I keep Rich is funny or big hair comic. It's just easier. I'm so tired of people having an aneurysm because there's an extra couple of letters. Wait, Rich Aronovitch, Rich Igedegavit, Rich. I'm like, just say, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't. I don't know. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna put out the question. And I don't know how that would affect me, you know, because if I have it all over my website and social media, I know a guy named Adam Hunter who was Adam Greenberg for years. And he changed it. It took a little time. And same with a guy named Mad Dog. He was Mad Dog, and now he goes by another name. I have, you know, that kind of thing. So I can't be dumb. You know, Jeff Lifschultz is Jeff Ross. But he changed it right up front. So I don't know. You know, I have spent many years with this name, you know.
Have you asked any of the people that book you, like what they think? Like the people that book you regularly?
No, I never asked them.
I don't know. They may have some good input.
Yeah, their question is, can you get asses in the seats? That's their only question. You know.
No, that
is the only concern. But no. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, that's what I was delusioned in the beginning of this business, thinking the funnier guy wins. It's like, no, the marketing guy wins.
True.
That's who wins. You know.
I like that. There's a lot of good quotes coming out of you.
Well, yeah, it's not, you know, business is a bigger word than show. Just remember that.
Another good quote.
Thank you.
Transcript is going to look awesome.
Comedy is not about getting up. It's about getting back up. Oh. And then I will quote Dan Natterman. Dan Natterman's got a great quote. This business has no business calling itself a business. Huh? Huh?
Did you get that from Don Rickles?
No, he just said where he got
Dan
it from.
Natterman.
Oh, I blacked out. It's all right.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
There is no listening in podcasts. What?
Yeah, he's very funny.
Okay. Sorry.
I enjoy his stand-up. He was on Last Comic Standing too, right? One of the first ones?
No, I don't remember. I was on the year with Josh Blue.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dan was also on the year
I don't remember.
that Jim Norton was on that he wound up off, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so what's going on for the rest of, going into next year for you?
So right now, I am in the process of booking 2020. I have dates already for my cruise work till December. What's great is they love me on these cruises. What's the bad news is they love me on these cruises. So I So I'm working on doing, like I got, let's see, I'm doing McGuire's in Bohemia and Long Island. I'm doing Wisecrackers in, can't remember when. Wisecracker. I'm doing some of these club dates that are local, which is great. You know, I love, like I don't know if you saw the last post I put up where the woman heckles me in the middle of
I did.
my set. Yeah, that was at the Brokerage, which is a great club in Belmore, Long Island.
Is that Governor's?
And it's a Governor's chain.
Right.
I got that. You know, I was in there years ago. They switched owners. That owner, I think, left, and then it was like, oh, we're revamping and giving everybody opportunities again. You know how it goes. You know, the booker changes and you're out. Then there's another booker, you're back in, that kind of thing, you know.
I think your friend Jessie Kirson's playing there sometimes.
Yeah, she plays there all the time. She does great there.
One of our friends is actually opening up that show with her, or playing on the same bill as her.
Who?
Olga, name her?
Who? I know Olga.
Yeah. She does a bunch of, we promote shows out here, so she does a bunch of our shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Oh, thanks for inviting me to do one of your shows. I really appreciate it.
Well, now that we know you, you will definitely be getting invites. It's up to you to accept them. They're half shitty.
Yeah. They're half shitty. And they pay money. Yeah, Stamford, that's an easy commute. Yeah, I would, if I have open dates, I would, you know what would be great, actually? I'm trying to talk to Johnny about doing Connecticut. Maybe we could do a Friday or Saturday, and he could do the opposite, so I could just book the weekend that way. Look at that, show business.
We exclusively book a room in South Norwalk, Connecticut, that they actually just built out as a comedy club for us. So we're booking that room Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
When we hang up, let's look at the calendar.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Proactive Aronovitch / Neil. I don't know which one. What do you guys think? Do you think it's Aronovitch is not too hard, or you think it's like a better marketing thing?
I mean, I'm a marketing guy at heart. Like my main job is marketing and in the entertainment business, actually. So I would happily have that.
He's not in a basement. Greg's okay.
I would happily have that conversation with you, and we can have an extended conversation about that. But I
would love that.
I think that it's like, to me, it's a difficult place because you've built a name for yourself for a long time as a touring stand-up comedian. So it would be hard for me to want to get away from that and then have to start again, right? But on the other side, you also have your website and your Instagram that's all very easy. Rich is funny. So I'm sure a lot of people that follow you follow Rich is funny. It doesn't matter what your last name is. So it's like, there's a lot of thought into it. It's like, well, Nick's last name is Scopoletti, which kind of, it's a little easier, but at the same time, it's lengthy. It's got a lot of vowels in it. Yeah. So, we trying to change it, social media, to just be Nick Scopes. So at some point, me and him will probably have that conversation as to going that route for all of his billings, because, he actually is doing pretty well in stand-up, and I think it would make sense to go to that, but it's early. For you, you're the opposite.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I think I'm going to change my name to Rich Scopes.
You could, and then you guys could go out as the Scopes brothers.
Hey.
Yeah, hey, did you see the Insta Twins thing I did?
Yeah, that was very funny.
I love mocking the whole, because these guys are whatever. Like, I don't care if you're funny, you're not funny. If you're twins, you have Insta fame. There is no chance you're not getting a deal if you are twins. I don't care how unfunny you are. It's just like, oh, they're twins.
Who are those two twins that play out here that sell out all the time?
Hodge twins.
Did you know the Hodge twins?
I don't, but that's a good example.
Two jacked black dudes.
But their shtick is very specific.
Crazy Republicans.
Republicans.
Crazy, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And apparently it's only.
Well, I don't know. I just know they're very conservative.
Yeah, it's only apparently the first 20 minutes of the show is comedy, and then the rest of it is like a Q&A. Believe it or not, and they're selling out.
Because they don't. Dude, just write 20 minutes each. You have 40 minutes. Come on, lazy. So,
but by the way, one thing I want to say about your name, because I literally I when I went to follow you on Instagram, I went to type in Rich Aronovitch, you didn't come up. I typed in Rich is funny, you were the first person. So just want to give you that feedback on your name change thing.
Yeah. So, what if I just change it to Rich is funny?
Like your actual.
I mean,
this is Greg's department.
Like my name, like introduce him as Rich is funny. Done.
What do you think? That's kind of funny to be honest.
It's ballsy,
yeah,
for sure.
For real.
You know, but honestly, I think for you, you have a reputation amongst comedians and people that know you and follow you, and you've been doing it for so long that I think that would be taken to much different and easier than if Nick Scopoletti went out and just started billing himself as Nick is funny, because nobody knows who the fuck Nick is. Yeah. And it's like really ballsy move to be like, haha, I'm funny, without any validation of that. But clearly you don't need the validation.
Oh, I need the validation.
Well, personally.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, personally. But no, I see what you're, but I think that would be, I mean, I know what it's like. You know, there's a comic named Talent, and it's like, oh, he's got a lot of, but then after a while, no one even thinks about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's an easy one to you to execute on without affecting anything, because if you say, you know what, I'm going to try calling myself Rich Neal for the next 3 months, and then if that doesn't work,
screw that. I'm going to do Rich is funny.
Right, and then
my middle name is, my last name is funny.
People would have a totally different perception. They'd be like, Greg is a dick. Greg is dumb.
I know. But Rich is an egomaniac.
Headlining Caroline's on Thursday is Rich is funny.
Rich is funny. Yeah.
I mean, it tells the story.
Marketing. I'm going to do that. Is it too ego to do that?
No, but I just want to say that things that happen off of the Mangina dialogues, we have first trademarks on.
Get 5%.
So there's that.
Should see the evil smile on Greg's face right now.
Now, meanwhile, listen to this. In this conversation, without even thinking about it, I have plugged my website 14 different times just by saying my name.
Hey, genius.
Think about that.
Genius.
You're on a
no, I'm saying this is a good marketing thing. That's a smart thing. All right, this is the aha moment. I'm going to thank you, your mother, and her basement. I think I'm changing it to Riches. I don't know. I have to ask 10 people.
We'll definitely take the shout
out. 10 friends.
Ask 5 dentists and see what they say.
Rich is gingivitis.
Just because I don't do anything, I can ask all the friends in the world, but dentists. Until I get 4 out of 5 dentists to agree on something, I don't make a change.
That's it. My new name is Rich Gingivitis.
Trident.
Greg, that was good. Yeah. Wow.
It's my one for the week.
Yeah. That's fucking dope.
The load is blown.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, now he blew it. It was fun until that.
All right, sir. So here's what we're going to do. We've plugged the living shit out of Rich is Funny. We've talked about...
Yes. I'm focusing on the gram, on the Instagram. I like that the most. Twitter is not my hand. Like, I do Twitter, but I'm too paranoid. I'm like, why are these people following me? That's a joke. And Facebook, that's great if you're 90. So if you're old school, Facebook is good too, which is funny.
They are saying that, and I don't believe it yet, but that Facebook is now coming back to be important again. Like,
why?
I don't know. I truly do not. But
who are they? The people from Facebook?
No. So we have a publicist that does PR for our podcast.
Okay.
And I talk to her all the time about how to execute on social media the best. And literally the other day she was telling me I need to immediately go on and do Facebook pages for our stuff, because they use them to sell tickets, they use them to promote all kinds of stuff. There's now that's where ad revenue is going. It's going to Facebook and Instagram ads to sell everything. And people are still on it actively, and even younger kids who went away from Facebook are all now coming back to Facebook, as all these things just are cyclical and continually just turn.
Okay.
So that's professional advice. I don't necessarily see it yet, because we did it, and we see some engagement and interaction, but it's not like blowing up or anything. But that's what people that are in the professional business of social media are telling me, and I tend to believe them. They're not selling anything for me because they represent us. So they're not trying to make me buy something.
That's pretty cool.
So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, sir. This was fun.
Yeah, dude. I want to meet you in person.
Well, why don't we hang up and then talk about maybe some dates for next year?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to close this out by making you sit through our song again. So I'm going to lower your mic and turn up our song, let it play out, and then you just stay on.
Okay, cool.
All right, hold on. Ready, Nicholas?
I'm ready, sir. It's going. It's going.
Uneducated, unfiltered, unhinged. This is the mangina.